What's up, everybody? This is the Act Man here, and today we're gonna be discussing politics in video games. Oh my. This is not gonna end well, is it? Well, I guess we're gonna have to use the lukewarm IQ and stupid opinion alert for this video. Let's get into this.
Ever hear someone say, all art is political, or every video game is political? Oh yeah?
Yeah?
All video games have political undertones. Is that what you're trying to tell me? Okay, what about, I don't know, Tetris? Yeah, tell me how stacking blocks is political. Well, did you know that the creator of Tetris didn't actually earn a single cent until a decade after its release? Or should I say, he didn't make a single ruble because Alexei Pajitnov hailed from Russia, and Tetris
Yeah, I have heard this.
was created under communism of the Soviet Union. That's right, in Soviet Russia, you don't make money from game. Soviet Russia make money from you. So in 1985, Microsoft...
Wait, I'm confused. Is that supposed to be an argument for we can fundamentally separate the art and product from the people and their political views that made it and judge it on its own merit? Or that it doesn't matter what, there are political undertones that influence the end goal and end outcome of the product? I'm confused. Which one is this?
Atari, and Nintendo were all embroiled in a legal battle to acquire the rights to publish Tetris outside of the Soviet Union. 3 years later, what would become a timeless masterpiece and the best-selling video game of all time would come to the West. So, wait, is Tetris a political game? I mean, I'm confused. My brain...
Same, but I honestly didn't expect to not be confused watching your video on something more non-complicated than Halo was good back in the day.
hurts. What the fuck is this doing here? Huh? I mean, help me out here. Is Tetris political?
The question, is this a political game, doesn't actually mean anything, because it's what does the word political mean to you?
Well, everyone's answer is going to be different. But if we want to be boring, the definition of politics is the activities associated with the governance of a country or other area.
Yep, that is definitely a boring way to look at it.
But in the realm of gaming, it feels like we hear a lot of keep politics out of video games. Stop politicizing video games. Hey, who made those videos? In the realm of gaming, political could be a story that revolves around politics or identity politics. The depiction of work.
Identity politics and shows Papers, Please. My dude, you could not be even more wrong. Papers, Please has literally nothing to do with identity politics.
World leaders sometimes getting their heads blown off. That's fun. Can't imagine why Cuba...
I'm sorry, I didn't even pay attention to that. I was just looking at the woman's facial expression right there. Wow.
Sometimes getting their heads blown off.
Look at that.
That's fun.
Damn.
Can't imagine why Cuba was mad about that one. Politics in video games could be any number of things. Political parties that are represented in game, or fictional governments that might bear a resemblance to something in the real world. Politics could even apply to our favorite friend over here. Yes, Mr. Lootbox. Do you think if I open enough of these, I'll unlock some government regulations that prevent promoting gambling to children? Only time will...
That is the worst way of saying politics apply to that. Politics, well, listen, those loot boxes aren't selling Black Lives Matter skins locked behind a $10,000 paywall, okay? It's not political, okay? The fact that children get addicted to loot boxes and go into gambling is not exactly a political issue. It's just an issue.
We'll tell. And this topic can cover everything from culture wars past and present, how games and their stories are interpreted to promote a particular message. Is that message worth promoting? Should games have a message? Which ones? How do you tell? What's up, everybody? This is the Act Man here, and today we're discussing what should the role of politics be in video games, within the confines of a game itself and within the culture of the studio that creates it. When does politics or political messaging improve a game, and when does it make it worse? Is it about...
I mean, we literally just saw two examples right here. Fallout New Vegas, amazing. Why? Because very political, but it's a little bit of a step back from the real world, and it just compares ideologies and doesn't promote one to be right and the others to be wrong. It allows you to do the decision yourself, and that's what I call a good game.
Political messaging improve a game, and when does it make
And this is Dragon Age Veilguard, which forces you to establish a trans identity and spits in your face as a player. I wonder which one is good politics and which one is bad politics. Such a hard question.
it worse? Is it about the message or its delivery? How can you tell the difference? Is all media political? Are you fucking bored yet? This is a massive topic to deconstruct, and I think I know just where to start. So there's this game called
Okay, hashtag doubt.
Sex with Hitler, right? And no, don't go. Wait, I was just kidding. All right. So in Sex with Hitler, Hitler is portrayed as having 2 testicles when historians actually debate this. Why are you leaving? By portraying Hitler with 2 testicles, fans were upset. All right. Politics and video games, best place to start. So there's this game called Sex with Stalin. In the past, on this channel, we've covered how games have been politicized and criticized by various viewpoints and groups.
When was this?
Violent.
He was trained to kill with Call of Duty and
Oh, yeah. Man, imagine when the Athmam had almost reasonable takes, you know? And it pretty much just started and ended with this because idiots like this were saying, Minecraft teaches you to kill. Yes, indeed. It happens.
another video game.
Shut your bitch ass up!
Hey, don't you dare play that Resident Evil 5, you racist.
There is only one acceptable response to a one.
I remember this! The Resident Evil 5 controversy that the zombies are black. You know what's my opinion? They're not black enough.
Man shooting waves of Africans for an entire video game.
Base.
No.
It's in Africa.
But whenever video games are blamed for some societal woe, it's usually a desperate tactic to shift the blame away from whatever the real issue is. And today we're going to do something different. We're going to discuss politics in video games. That's right. But let's go back to Tetris real quick, because none of the game's history or involvement in politics affected how fun Tetris was. Clearly, this was a game that transcended nationalities.
Well, yeah, because you can't really add a lot of politics to a game like that.
Many of you likely never considered if Tetris was political, because that sounds really fucking stupid. On paper, we can't say every video game is political, but you can find deeper meaning in something if you look hard enough. And
Oh my god, that is sad. That is a sad state of Tetris.
Tetris is proof of that. Like, did you notice the Moscow Kremlin at the start screen? How the
No.
fuck did I never see that before? With that being said, doesn't it seem like an injustice that Alexei was never properly rewarded for his innovation?
No, he literally lived in communist Russia. It just makes sense that he wasn't rewarded for anything because, yeah, that's how that ideology kind of works there, Chief. No matter what you want to say against that.
One could look at this story and come to the conclusion that, well, communism has some issues.
Some!
While there are no overt political messages in Tetris, like BioShock or Deus Ex, it still serves as a... Wait. Tetris. Blocks. In a communist society, we're all just building blocks, pieces of a greater whole, if you will. We have no power or agency on our own, and it's like we're controlled by some mysterious force that forces us down. And it's only when all the pieces work together as a commune that any progress is made, that we have any value. One block out of place and the whole thing crumbles. Tetris is a game about falling in line. Get back to work. I think this type of analysis is part of the fun of what we do here on YouTube. Why do you think the Game Theorists is a channel that's gotten so popular over the years? I miss Matt. A lot of this stuff comes down to interpretation. I look at this guy from Ace Attorney Spirit of
I'm pretty sure no one tried to interpret the politics of Tetris, though.
Justice. You know what his name is? Paul Attishin. Wait, keep politics out of my Ace Attorney games.
Politics, how tiresome.
That's why they call him the Prophet of Truth, because that's all he spits. You know, sometimes politics can add a whole new dimension and level of intrigue to an existing universe. In Halo 2, I honestly wish we got to explore more of High Charity before it's taken over by the Flood. This
An Axeman video devolves into something Halo. I mean, I didn't see that one coming. Did you?
gigantic mushroom-shaped space station where a conglomerate of alien races all work together. It's kind of interesting that you see these like elite congressmen in the stands at the start, and then later on they're fighting in the Civil War. How did all these alien races come to work together? Why are the brutes suddenly shaking things up? Tell me more about the Grunt Rebellion.
The taming of the hunters, the Grunt Rebellion. Were it not for the Arbiters, the Covenant would have broken long ago.
The politics of the prophets in Halo 2 and their quest for power and dominance through religious dogma is the driving force of Halo, at least the plot, and it's the basis for their great journey. So exploring the politics of the Covenant leadership objectively deepened the lore of the Halo series, and was a net positive. It also led to some of the best fucking drama and dialogue you've ever heard.
Do we count religion as politics? I mean, you can make it out to be politics, but does this count? I'm not even sure.
The prophets have betrayed us.
But you know, Nintendo doesn't really do political games, do they? Right, Reggie?
Making political statements are for other people to do. We want people to smile and have fun when they play our games.
And he's
LOL.
right. Games don't have to make a statement, nor should every game be expected to.
He's a plumber from Italy! That is the most political statement I have seen in my life.
Although, Super Mario Sunshine has quite the statement to make about climate change if you really think about it. There used to be more sunshine and now we have all this goop everywhere. Fucking Bowser and his dumb amusement park polluting the sky with greenhouse gases. Why is the government of Isle Delfino arresting Mario and not Bowser? What the fuck is this, kangaroo court? Is this really the best place to go on vacation? Okay, I'm sorry. But when making a game about war, specifically modern warfare, are the creators obligated to include
Oh, I thought it's gonna be an ad.
some kind of message or theme?
No!
Nope. Just follow your passions. Make what you want and what's most entertaining. But, if you're gonna cover, like, real history, you gotta try to respect that. The cold hard truth is that I don't give a shit whether or not a game has something to say, as long as that is part of the entertainment. If it detracts from that, and I'm being—
Oh, look at that. This is called Dragon Age Railgun. I mean, kind of would, I'm not gonna lie. But boys, listen.
entertainment.
If you missed in case Dragon Age Railgun, this creature right here is called Belara. She is cum dump extraordinaire, okay? Literally hips made for breeding, and she's a mechanic. What, can she fix anything? Fuck no. She literally just hits things most of the time, and it doesn't work, and then she's surprised. Not a lot of up here. But my god, that mouth knows how to do things. And my god, those hips move like they're on amortizers or something like that. It is insane! It is insane! Literally made to breed. Just pointing that out there.
Detracts from that, and I'm being lectured, then I tune out. Call of Duty has always been controversial for its ruthless depiction of war, politics, and you know what?
Okay, finally, Ackman actually, in 8 minutes, he finally said a point. I don't like being lectured, which is a stupid point to make. Finally, just 8 minutes in, and we got his first point, boys. What a time to be alive. So, it's not about being lectured. It's about making sense, okay? He's constantly showing things like Fallout New Vegas here and whatnot, and Fallout New Vegas lectures you on the decisions you do. All of them, in fact. If you do one thing, and it's bad for a group of people or whatever, you bet your ass that they're gonna tell you that you ruined their lives and how bad and stupid your decision was. Because it happened to them and now their lives are bad. That is normal lecturing. They're not lecturing you from from imaginary goddamn hill, a castle built on a goddamn hill, of superiority and a higher plane of emotional existence. Okay? They're not doing that. They're lecturing you because something bad happened to them from their opinion because of your actions. And that's normal lecturing. Lecturing in games is fine. And if it's done normally, aka like in Fallout New Vegas, you have no problems with it. You ruin House's plans. House calls you absolute imbecile for not understanding the future that he wanted to build and how that would better humanity. And he has a point. From his perspective, all of that was true. And so he calls you an idiot and lectures you on destroying humanity's best hope. That's a good lecture. Maybe you didn't actually think about it that way, but he's not degrading you for your choice or elevating his own position because of random gobbledygook nonsense. No. And the same thing happens in other situations. And that's fine lecturing, you know? You do a little bit too many war crimes, Boone walks away from you. Well, that's your fucking bad choice, Boone, because I'm gonna now shoot you in the back because you don't get to walk away from me, sunshine, okay? It is what it is. In other games, this doesn't happen.
Sometimes America is the bad guy. Or at least that bad guy is American. I think General Shepard is one of the greatest villains the series has offered. But while Modern Warfare 2 got loads of flack for some reason, I can't remember why, the Modern Warfare reboot of 2019 was controversial, ironically, because it wasn't political enough. They were taking so much heat, the developers at Infinity Ward had to make a statement about it.
Are we telling a story that has anything to do with the specific governments of any countries that we are portraying? No.
But critics felt the game purposely hid the US's involvement in the Highway of Death mission, an event where during the Gulf War the US bombed retreating Iraqi soldiers and civilians. But you know, it's a video.
I mean, why even be mad about that? The list of things of that nature is too long to read out in a day.
Game, and we want to sell this to Americans, so let's just say the Russians did it. You guys
Smart,
hate the
though.
Russians, don't you? See, I have a problem with including a mission that's based on a real event and then trying to sanitize it. It seemed like Infinity Ward wanted to avoid portraying the...
Oh yeah, that is obviously gonna piss people off, okay? The fact that you're this is why Assassin's Creed Shadows is a hot political topic, because yes, Assassin's Creed was never based on true history, but it was based on history, and then you swapped some things around for it to be cooler, fancier, and oh look, Eve has some kind of transparent tight skin suit, and that's hot. You know, those type of things. But now they're just being shit. They're just completely ruining everything effectively, and it's strange. You know, it's no longer transparent. Now you're taking literal history and changing huge chunks of it and making that the story, which is fucking insane. That's why people don't like it. People hate when you do something as blatant and disrespectful as that.
Shall we say, questionable things the United States did during the Gulf War. And I don't know about you, but it always pisses me off when Call of Duty just is clearly pulling punches and trying to give us some pussy-ass version of war. I shot at the Nazi, that is my plan. Let's go save the Jews, guys, hooray! Speaking of, who could forget playing as my team in Call of Duty Vanguard and fighting who? The enemy team.
God. Grandpa, can you tell me about your team? How you fought for your team in World War II? Yes, my team. Look at my glorious team.
No real-world military factions here, people. It's just too offensive. All right. Would you like to open some loot boxes on the beaches of Normandy like your forefathers?
Yeah!
The series seems to continue losing respect for real military conflicts and portraying them as accurately as they can.
Okay, well, at least they still haven't made guns that look like that from Fallout, okay? I'm just gonna be real with you.
And I, too, have a declining respect for Call of Duty. Call of Duty fans don't agree on much, but one thing we all agree on is that COD 4 was probably the best. And comparing it to the Modern Warfare remake, COD 4 was way more nuanced. And they intentionally avoided naming real-world countries or people because all they wanted to do at the end of the day was take the style of World War II shooter they had and change it to a modern setting. Even though COD 4 reflects real-world events, it's up to each individual player to interpret what those might mean. but there's clearly no direct political statement preached to the player. It's just pure FPS.
Some people will find it anyway, okay? You need to remember that there exist crazy people on every side of all spectrums, okay? We should all try to be as close to the middle as possible, because that is just the better objectively place to be, because every side can go insane at some point, and someone's definitely gonna find something, some kind of statement somewhere, okay? They always do.
Solid entertainment, and it depicts modern warfare in a more ambiguous way. Call of Duty 4 was political by nature, not by design, and that's a huge difference that a lot of people don't talk about. What's another good example? World at War. Call of Duty World at War is fucking awesome. It's a masterpiece, but its politics are very far divorced from our current timeline. At least I think they are. So nothing is really controversial about its portrayal of World War II.
What the hell is that?
Lay within. I think the game is as historically accurate as it can be, and it pulls no punches. World at War starts and ends with the statement it has to make. World War II was fucked up. That's it. We know who the bad guys are. However, while they show the bloodlust, vengeance, and hatred of the Russian people through Reznov, Treyarch did something interesting. They added a character that showed a side of mercy, portraying World War II with more moral complexity than many other World War II games.
Chernov! I am not hearing gunshots!
There is no point, Sergeant. They are already bleeding to death.
Then maybe our friend will help them bleed faster.
The Nazis are bad, but are we going too far type shit. That's why Chernov and Reznov act as your moral guidance through the Russian
Dude, they fucking nailed the Russian aesthetic
campaign. And the decision is on the player on whether they carry out Reznov's vengeance or embrace Chernov's mercy. And you get slightly different monologues from Chernov's journal depending on your choices.
His bravery on the battlefield is beyond question, but he has also shown mercy amidst the brutality of the Red Army. His merciless brutality defines him only as a savage, just like the rest of the Red Army.
Now, as an American, we all learn about in school how communism is, well, kind of bad, which it is, but it's
I'm surprised he honestly even said that.
Interesting then that between the American and Russian...
Do we wanna, what is this? World of War, Bioshock, what the fuck are these politics in video games? What do we... Oh, wait, there's Dragon Age Whaleguard.
Campaigns of World at War. American fans overwhelmingly prefer the Russian side. Reznov is just the coolest, for starters, and he's in Black Ops 1. But more than that, the story where communism wins and the Soviet flag is hoisted atop the Reichstag is portrayed so fucking well, it makes you patriotic for a foreign country that doesn't even exist anymore.
Is anyone surprised? Axeman reveals he loves communism. Oh, makes you patriotic for a country that doesn't... Okay. Okay. Okay right there, okay? Okay? No, how about no?
As long as you live, the heart of this army can never be broken.
That is the power of storytelling. I'm convinced the only thing...
Is it? I mean, that's one hell of a story to tell. We kind of just, listen, in this time period, there was a lot of fighting, you know, if you know what I mean. But it is what it is. We're not... Afghan is vaguely not capable of anything, so we're not going to keep this against this, okay? It's fine. It's fine.
But now let's take a look at an example where politics detracts from the experience, pulls people out of it. Dragon Age the Veilguard.
If you come across as preaching your political agenda, you're going to alienate everybody who doesn't agree with you.
About as true a statement as one could possibly say. But it's the explanation for why Bioshock gets away with being explicitly political and Dragon Age the Veilguard doesn't. It's because there is no deeper meaning to analyze behind Veilguard. The characters just straight up tell you the point they want you to take away from everything. You see
I mean, did you see that dump truck right there? Oh my lord.
Novel Atlas Shrugged and the whole time period of Bioshock takes place in the far distant past, but a fictional version, a believable version. So when you're trying to breach the idea of covering identity politics in a medieval fantasy game, you have to hide that a bit. Recently,
you can't even hide it. I mean, establish your trans identity is literally dead in the first 30 minutes of the game in your screen, and you can't ignore it. And all of your companions are retarded.
The EA CEO Andrew Wilson, Mr. Is This Good for the Player, came out and said that Veilguard, quote, failed to resonate with a broad audience. Why do they always fucking say that? Like, can we stop? I always feel like the implication behind broad audience is we don't have enough money. We're not making enough money. But Andrew Wilson believed that Veilguard failed because it didn't have live service features.
Well, the CEO is gonna lie about literally anything he can at that point to save face.
Knows BioWare and live service go hand in hand like peanut butter and jelly. Now, there's several reasons why Veilguard didn't appeal to that mythical broad audience: corporate meddling, a bizarre rebrand late in development, the 10-year gap between Inquisition not being relevant, BioWare's slow, declining overall reputation, the ongoing layoffs across the industry.
I mean, slow declining, I don't know about that one. They kind of hit themselves hard and fast for multiple years, if you ask me.
But in the focus of this video, we're talking about the writing. BioWare is no stranger to writing games with a diverse cast, who represent different worldviews, religious orders, and parts of these fictional universes. So why—
True, and the women are almost never right. Face.
Is politics now suddenly a problem in Veilguard? Because it's written like dog shit.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
The way—
Dude, is this literally just a trip down memory lane? Because we watched Actman's, Mam's review of Dragon Age Veilguard, and he literally named everything that encompasses woke, that we normal people would describe as woke, to such a large and unbelievable degree, and yet he refused to call it woke. And he just called it bad or whatever. Oh, it was beautiful.
To get audiences to think about complex social issues is not to just beat them over the head with the point. Like, they have a fucking coming out part where Tosh just straight up says, I'm non-binary.
Yeah, and why is it bad? Could we describe this as woke? Does this exist only because of woke nonsenses? I think yes.
You'd think being part of some fictional fantastical race known as the Kunari who speak a different language that they would have some kind of different foreign term for that, but no, just straight up non-binary. Oh, that's what they're going for. That's what they're doing. It's clear.
Yeah, you think a fantasy setting in the goddamn medieval times or verse is with a group of dragon people is gonna have modern day mental illnesses? No. They shouldn't have a word for it at all.
Clear what the goal of the writers are, and there's nothing for us to interpret about it. It's so ham-fisted, right? And in Dragon Age Origins, you can kill every single one of your companions. Every single one. You hate one of them, tell them to fuck off. But in Veilguard, party members are like unanimous in agreement that, whoa, hey, guys, don't be transphobic. Being transphobic is part of the problem. When really it should be up to the player's choice if they want to recruit this companion and how they want to treat them. In RPGs where you recruit a group of companions, there should always be at least one racist. Give me some fucking drama. People in
Damn
the real
right,
world
you can't
have
trust an
racial
elf.
tensions, and therefore why would the same not apply to a fictional fantasy realm? Because discrimination might make people uncomfortable, even though it's realistic. And let's not pretend like the idea of some character that breaks gender norms is like inherently a bad thing. You don't have to look far in film and video games to see a deep admiration and reverence for female characters that break.
What is this?
Film and video games.
Oh man, what is this? The Rings of— No, it's not. What? It's not? Why wouldn't you show Rings of Power, though?
To see a deep—
Oh, look at that! It's this one. Oh.
and reverence for female characters that break typical gender norms, and embrace the role typically reserved for.
He's literally showing all the classical examples of easy, normal, reasonable female protagonists that are not fucking Mary Susan hateable. Yeah, no shit, if you do something good, people are gonna like it no matter what.
Masculine men. If your goal is to tackle identity politics and inclusion in video games, or really any issue for that matter, then as Kreia said,
then you will need the contrast.
You will need characters who despise this person's identity and what they stand for, and you, the player, should be given options to talk shit to them, as opposed to every single party member in complete agreement that, hey, discrimination is bad. We see this in Origins, right? The Kunari are basically a society of what it would look like if communism worked. Everyone's inspected at birth, they're given their role at birth, their role is their name. So what you have in Origins is this clashing of beliefs and cultures. Sten comes from the Kunari, where women are artisans and merchants, not warriors, but every female companion can talk to Sten about this. And they don't just say, wow, Sten, you're sexist. No, they say, I can fucking fend for myself. So the game is not telling you what to think or believe.
Thank you, X-Man. Very cool. Okay, that's it. I can't stand this anymore. Anyway, that was that, man. 10 out of 10. Oh my lord. Bye-bye.